This is gonna be fun.
BetterHelp virus on YouTube is back. Uh-oh.
This video is brought to you by Incogni, which is actually kind of fitting given the subject matter. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they are providing to the entire upper echelon community. What is BetterHelp? Odds are a lot of people watching this have actively seen advertisements for the service here on YouTube, maybe Facebook, or elsewhere, loosely understanding it to be an online therapy application for matching patients with licensed professionals.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. The ads paint a picture of something kind or approachable, and the sponsorships they authorize talk about how burnout is a really difficult process and how help is just a few clicks away. But with tens of millions of dollars pouring into the YouTube ecosystem, hundreds and hundreds of videos promoting the service,
Well, hold
and a
up.
rapidly growing
Hold
list.
up. What did I say? If you are in a crisis, don't use BetterHelp.
At least they're honest for once.
Okay.
Pouring into the YouTube ecosystem, hundreds and hundreds of videos promoting the service, and a rapidly growing list of creators affiliated with them. I wanted to examine.
It's just a bunch of depressed millennials. I don't want to see this. This is pathetic. If I want to see this, I go to my next high school reunion. I don't want to see this shit.
The full scope of this service because it's not quite what people think it is, and prospective customers need to be aware of that. To do this, we need to go back in time. 2018 was many things, some good, some bad, but relevant for today's video, 2018 was the time frame when BetterHelp initially found traction on the platform by sponsoring a very large number of YouTube.
Man, they were huge then. They sponsored everyone except me. I would take the sponsorship full well knowingly this is bad. By the way, I knew that that's bad at the time that it was happening because there's no way online therapy is ever gonna work.
Creators. These creators would very often talk about how valuable the service is. They would draw connections to their own personal lives or express their own struggles.
I
which is fine.
never did this.
People can promote things that they also believe in. Except there's a bit of a discrepancy between.
I mean, considering how many bad things you and OTK have done, the fact that you didn't take BetterHelp doesn't really make up for it a lot.
What was being said about the company and what users were actually experiencing.
What a
Anecdotal
surprise.
evidence is overly abundant here, but the gist of it then, and still today now, is that many users were complaining about unnecessary fees, difficulty canceling subscriptions, or problems with the service that left them completely unsatisfied. As an example, users who actively subscribed to the platform often had enormous difficulty canceling that subscription. They were repeatedly required to confirm their intentions and faced with things like this. Typically, when you go to buy something or cancel something, green means yes, do the thing I'm trying to do, and red means no, I changed my mind. Also, buttons to the left typically denote cancellation or go back, and buttons on the right signal confirmation or go forward.
This is confusing. I agree. I actually think that the red and green are okay because red is usually to quit and green is usually to go, but they are switched, and I think that it is on purpose. Just read.
Obviously, it's on purpose, that's one. Two, how are you this stupid? How are you even a human? This is my favorite part about Asmongold, when he talks about things that actually require education, experience, and whatnot, and he knows nothing about it. If you think red is fine as a cancel button for a color, you are insane. You are probably not even human. Red associates with danger, bad things. It's used for stop. It's used to do not go. It's used for trespass. It's used for danger labels. Red is a bright color that in nature symbolizes danger. Every kind of bright fluorescent and whatnot color in nature symbolizes danger. Red is the color of fucking fire at the end of the day. And you're like, nah, red means good, bad. This is... How can you be such an idiot? How?
Well, the thing is that, so you ever seen a fat person try to run hurdles? You ever seen them try and do it? And they hit some, don't they? Every once in a while, they'll get one. They'll hit one because they can't get over it. Well, this is just a hurdle, and there's a couple of metaphorical fat asses that it's going to stop them. A kid could...
I wonder how many more confirmations you need, except just this.
Could read it, though?
Oh, yeah. Also, by the way, the fact that they have the rate and the service right here, how much you would recommend this, is also really bad. Because, you went to a site that was supposed to offer you help, and, well, they kind of tried at least, right? Which means they're not a 0, they're not a 1, they're not a 3, they're not a 4, maybe they're a 5 or something. And after you do this, where you need to rate them, and they kind of push, because the whole concept kind of pushes you into not giving them a 0 or a bad score. You do this, you rate them, well, let's say as a 5, and then you're like, okay, well, they're not that bad, and then you rethink, do you actually want to leave it? Then you have the red quit therapy. By the way, calling it quit therapy is a massive, massive problem on its own. Instead of quit therapy, they might as well have said, I'm gonna go murder kittens and set old people on fire because I'm an evil person. And the green one could have been, I'm a good person that wants to better myself and the world at this point. Just this alone is hugely bad.
Yeah, but what if you're dumber than that kid? Like, I don't think y'all understand how stupid people are. Like, y'all really need
I don't think you understand how stupid you are.
we got to have a reality check.
BetterHelp, even though this is a relatively small item in the grand scheme of things for the video.
And by the way, am I watching this video just in hopes that Asmongold talks about psychology out of his ass? Exactly. This is literally all I care about in this video. I could not give less about BetterHelp. Hey, if you're seeking online therapy consultation, you already lost the game of life, in my opinion. Especially on something like burnout. Just take it easier, relax a little bit, and that burnout goes away. That's how it works. It's very simple.
66%
would pretty blatantly
literacy,
try
yeah.
to trick their customers into hitting the green button on the right, which would then actually halt the process of cancellation, because the goal wasn't convenience or satisfaction. The goal was to manipulate their user base into remaining on the platform with an active subscription, which would then continue to rack up charges even in their absence.
Oh, wait. What? I did not read one thing. I confirmed that my session history may become unavailable after my membership ends. Oh, this is another thing. They're not going to save anything, so, you can't look back at what happened and the advice and whatnot, so this is even better. Again, another one. Jesus.
Remaining on the platform with an active subscription, which would then continue to rack up charges even in their absence. Something else we can look at to kind of help showcase this is that even last year, that being 2023, BetterHelp dispersed $93 million in refunds, which constituted 8% of their entire revenue stream.
Wow.
That's crazy, though. That means they made...
That's crazy that they make so much. I should start the BetterHelp also.
Over $1 billion. That's nuts. Holy shit. That's really good. Wow, bro, I should do some therapy shit. This is a good idea. There must be a lot of depressed millennials. Oh,
direct
man.
Comparisons for that figure, but it's worth noting that the number of people who actually pursue
a
refund process, especially a difficult one, is substantially lower than the number of people who are overall dissatisfied with any given service, which begins to put things in perspective. You don't have to look very far to start finding many more clues about what kind of company.
By the way, I hate it when people write it like this. According to public SEC findings, BetterHelp saw its refund total increase by 15% compared to 2022. Is 2023? That means that 15% is like 1 point, maybe 2% or something like that. So, yay.
Look very far to start finding many more clues about what kind of company this actually is, but try this one on for size. After a pretty horrifying tragedy took place at a festival called Astroworld in Houston, there's a 1,200-page police report.
If a place is called Astroworld, it deserves a tragedy.
Report about what happened, which is pretty chilling, honestly, but the gist of it is that a hyped-up crowd compressed in on itself at a concert, and multiple people died as a result of that. After that tragedy occurred...
This is a Travis Scott concert.
Not uncommon.
Concert, yeah.
BetterHelp partnered up with Travis Scott, who many believe to be partially...
Oh, no. Oh, that's not good. He just wanted a good PR look, and he got the worst one out there. Oof.
Responsible, despite managing to avoid criminal charges, and offered a free month of online therapy to all those affected. Yeah, the subpar remote therapist application in partnership with a negligent rapper who excited
it's cheap.
Crowd and caused a tragedy.
Oh my God.
Showing how much they care together by basically giving you 4 free telehealth sessions on an application that breaches your privacy and tries to keep you trapped in a cycle of payments.
I mean, you got to hand it to them. They're really going for it, though, right? I mean, they're really going for it. Like, they're going all the way.
That's
Yeah,
really
That's
fantastic.
impressive. Yeah,
Good
like the
job.
level of
On
shamelessness.
top of this, as if that's not already enough
That's hard
form
to
a
do.
judgmental opinion of them, there was a bit of a problem with their terms of service. According to archives, their TOS previously contained a segment which said, quote, "We do not control the quality of the counselor services, and we do not determine whether any counselor is qualified
Oh, this was a good one when this started.
to provide any specific service."
Huh.
Yeah, some people on BetterHelp were not even licensed professionals. They were just randos who, did shit at random. Pretty funny.
I should have signed up and done it. Yeah.
What? Now, that particular passage
I
has
should have
since
signed
been
up, man.
removed, obviously.
Could have
but
made
it
some
further
money.
demonstrates that the company has a really unstable
Somebody says in chat it's DoorDash for therapy.
foundation with the public when it comes to common perception. And their chosen
Yeah, and some
tactic
people's
to
food
remedy
gets cold.
this is just
Well, I
lots
guess
of
in this
money.
case, their
I
body.
already talked about how prolific BetterHelp used to be when it comes to
Was that
YouTube
too far?
sponsorships. But what I didn't say is that these
Nah.
YouTubers were getting paid something like $100 to $200 per sign-up when they advertise the service. Some affiliate websites show a minimum commission of $100 per
Whoa!
trial user,
Remember what I said about how I usually try to dial it down? That's why I stay away from people.
making it an extremely lucrative thing to advertise this mental health application
Also, pussy.
and make it seem like a worthwhile service to use.
Weak.
Well, that was then, and this is now. So what precisely is connecting these 2 points in time? Answer: BetterHelp is connecting these 2 points in time because they are exponentially dialing up their advertising, once again, possibly relying on the fact that internet users have a very short attention span.
They're stupid.
Yeah, they probably forgot. Also, their target audience just became 18, a lot of them. And that's their target audience. Because who has the biggest crisis in mental health care? Well, you guessed it, the younger ones. Because, well, they're living in a world where everything is bad, everything's their fault, everything's not their fault, they deserve everything, they deserve nothing. And, yeah, I mean, that's kind of pretty effed up to a degree.
Probably hoping to capitalize on a younger demographic of adolescent teenagers and early young adults who have been aggressively told that their mental health is the most important thing ever in the history of the
Also
universe
that,
the majority of their living lives, making them not only hyper susceptible to this, but also relatively uninformed if they didn't pay attention 6
Bro, better health when yoga doesn't cut it.
years ago when BetterHelp initially encountered controversy on the platform, which was also
Well, you're always going to have a new crop of idiots, and there's a new set of stupid 14-year-olds that you can sell and scam every single year. Every year there's a new crop of them.
We know.
So if you're scamming kids out of money, or like 19-year-olds too, right? I mean, because 19, maybe they got student loan money, you can get that.
Every year also a millennial becomes a boomer. Because boomer is not a representation of when you were born. Boomer is a mindset.
It's an infinite money glitch. Yeah, it is.
Also, same applies to millennials.
I'm a therapist, and BetterHelp should be illegal. It's disgusting to both the client and the provider. Therapy sweatshop.
Good. That's
I
what
mean,
it
I've never
intended to
been to
be.
therapy. I've never had a inclination to go to therapy. I think that
Yeah, the delusion is high with this one. Again, when your parents care so little about you that they are looking at your teeth rotting out and they don't even give a shit to say that you should brush your teeth probably. I mean, to survive that long in such a shitty environment where no one gives a shit about you, yeah, I mean, you kind of become null and voided to a lot of things.
as I've said before, I joke around about how I'm crazy, but I actually think I'm the only person who's not.
True. The same way that Asmongold is the only one who can use logic. Remember, boys, every time that you say something Asmongold did wrong, or whatever, or you disagree with him, you're being emotional while he's being pure logic. Or it's a personal attack. Pick one, honestly.
Everybody else is crazy. And in a world where everybody is crazy, they're going to think that it's actually you, but it's actually everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
COVID,
It's not
which
me.
allows them to capitalize
It's not
even
me.
further
It was never
on
me.
the dramatically increased tolerance people have for telehealth
Well,
and
Dr. Gray,
remote
that's not
medical
therapy.
solutions,
That's just a story.
which weren't nearly as popular before then. According to research by the Out Loud group, BetterHelp went from sponsoring roughly 392 videos
That's a
in
lot.
third quarter 2022 up to 636 in first quarter 2023, 1,237 in the second quarter.
That's 2,000.
Nearly 2,000.
Dude, at this point, people were not just broken down. Also, the timing of the disease of unknown origin, that also actually helped them. Because at first people were like, oh, this is great, I'm just sitting at home. And, 1 year in, people were scratching their eyes out because turns out social interaction is very, very necessary for people. Who would have thought?
In the third quarter. That's a pretty massive increase over time, on track to be roughly 10 times higher over the span of just 1 year.
Oh my
But
God.
seeing that made me wonder why. Why are they doing this now?
Well,
And what's-
because it makes money. You saw how that, like, the 8%, like if 8% of the money you make has to be refunded, like, you're making a huge amount of money. The pandemic must have doubled it. Yeah, pandemic fucked total. Oh my God, bro! Like, pandemic made everybody crazy. It did. It turned people
That's
nuts,
true.
man. I feel like we're still recovering from that. It's like people became.
You idiot. We are still recovering from that. The pandemic did irreversible damage to young children. That they needed to stay home and they didn't socialize and then they didn't get social skills. Literally, people are growing up to be Asmongold socially. That is insanely bad for society.
Came feral. It's like people went hollow, like in Dark Souls, like, like those things at the beginning of the cinematic. That's the way people are. That was 5 years ago. Yeah, almost.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
What's the reason to dial up advertising that much on a platform whose community previously ejected them with very little sympathy? Before going further, today's video is brought to you by Incogni. Incogni is all about online privacy and data protection. It's a nearly
because they're yelling government.
What are we doing?
Sit on your kids, but they know how to play video games all night.
Yeah, so they're just never really going to figure this shit out, right? Like, they're never going to figure out any, bro, let's be honest.
specific legal permission to work on your behalf and let
Oh,
them
what
stop
the
any
hell?
information. Why would BetterHelp come back and dump that much money into YouTube right now?
Because they think you're stupid.
Because
And
it works.
it's not that they think you're stupid. They know you're stupid. Every internet drama has a lifespan. And people
Wise.
don't care about internet drama that's old. Even if it's really bad drama. Like, you can think of the worst possible thing. Remember whenever Chris Brown beat the fuck out of Rihanna? Did anybody care whenever Chris
Such an underrated fighter.
Brown was talking about like these like new raps that he was doing about people? People thought it was hilarious. They didn't care. Because nobody gives a shit about this anyway.
Legend has it was with an umbrella, by the way, which would which would have been amazing.
People just get recreationally mad about the internet, and then they go back to their normal life.
I dug around for a while.
You
no
did?
luck
Yeah,
here,
it
no
was
luck
crazy.
there, but finally, I stumbled on something.
Dude's an animal.
CareDash. Now, for anyone who doesn't
CareDash?
know, which is probably
Whoa,
The
bro.
hell
Like,
is this?
who was it that said it was DoorDash?
Yeah.
I guess they must agree.
Hey, then again, I'm okay with this. This kind of makes, the society a better place. The weak need to be called, in my opinion.
everyone. CareDash is a platform meant to connect people to various doctors, dentists, and therapists.
Uh-huh.
But I shouldn't say the word
Dentists?
is here, because CareDash
Okay, being an unlicensed therapist is one thing, but being an unlicensed dentist is a little bit different.
doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it turns out CareDash was a fraud scheme that had been posting profiles of real physicians, clinicians, and therapists, most importantly, without their knowledge or consent. That might seem strange, but the
I mean, if it functions like a Google search, then I think it's probably legal, ironically.
incentive is actually very, very straightforward. CareDash would host the profiles of real therapists, but then if someone tried to use their platform to actually book an appointment with that therapist, CareDash would say, oops, sorry, they're not accepting new people right now, and refer that potential customer directly to BetterHelp.
That's smart.
Try to stay
Ooh,
with
that's
me here.
good.
Yeah.
I learned through an escalated federal lawsuit.
That's smart.
I mean, is that even illegal? I don't know.
That's what DoorDash does with.
Well, actually, unless they have written somewhere, if we can't find someone to do your stuff, we're gonna redirect you to BetterHelp because that's our partner. Then it's illegal if they didn't have that. Probably. I'm not sure, but man, there are so many dumb loopholes like that. If they have that written somewhere in the terms of service that no one read, then it's fine. But if not, then it's a problem. Because if someone's paying you money in any case to get people to go to X or do this or that, then not disclosing that is typically a violation of some sort. Typically.
Remember they had that lawsuit apparently where like they said that like this place is closed or something like that. Yeah, that's smart.
CareDash was operated by a company called NewFit Media. And NewFit Media is a multi-million-dollar startup funded by a venture capital firm called Link Ventures. It's got all the typical bells and whistles, world-class partnerships, and strong and passionate creative teams, etc.
Sure.
etc. But if we compress it down to a basic
agile
point of reference
workspace.
here, CareDash was a multi-million-dollar fraud platform driving traffic through unauthorized use of therapist profiles to BetterHelp, which was shut down in the first quarter of 2023.
Well, you have to understand that, like, you have to look, these people have the same ethical guidelines and guardrails as a raccoon does.
Yeah, true.
So ask yourself the question, would a raccoon do this? If the answer is yes, then they would too.
I mean, he's placing kind of a big emphasis on the raccoons. I would compare this to OTK. Would someone in OTK potentially do essay and then would that be covered up? The answer is yes, obviously. So, fun stuff.
This is where my Chrome window almost crashed completely because I had so many tabs open. And yeah, turns out that BetterHelp is actually a wholly owned subsidiary acquired by a company called Teladoc in 2015. Teladoc is a publicly traded...
God, don't you just love the modern day when a company makes a company that makes a company that makes a company that makes a company that makes a company, and you guessed it, that makes a company. Oh, it's beautiful. And then usually it all boils down to Bill Gates, magically how.
Company, thankfully, which means they have to disclose financials. So theoretically, I should be able to check what's happening, and presto goes the dynamite. Yes, I can. In the second quarter of 2023, shortly after the closure of CareDash, which was funneling customers directly to BetterHelp through a multi-million-dollar startup platform, and directly before they started exponentially increasing their advertising push on YouTube here, Teladoc disclosed that BetterHelp had roughly 476,000 paying users. However, in the fourth quarter of 2023, as BetterHelp is approaching a 10 times higher amount of advertising on YouTube, again, according to research from the Out Loud group, Teladoc disclosed that the number of paying users for the platform had actually decreased to 425,000.
Well, that's bad.
That may seem small, but it's actually about 50,000 users.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
10% of their entire customer base.
That's strange. Well, again, I have said this a million times about marketing. Marketing, unless you do it and it's an absolute super success or everyone makes fun of it on Twitter, you can't actually estimate how much marketing is driving sales. It's really actually hard to estimate. For example, this is a thing most people don't know, but for example, links from YouTube to buy something through an affiliate link. You know what happens when someone wants to actually buy something from an affiliate link from a YouTube video that they saw? You know what people often tend to do, and this is actually a ginormous percent. I don't remember what percent is it, but it's a huge percent. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. They click on the link, and then they think about it. and then the link vanishes or restarts because they're actually buying it the next day from a different link now or whatever. This happens so much. It is so hard to gauge advertisements' effectiveness.
That's
From
a lot.
my perspective,
Yeah.
based on the information I've collected so far, it seems like the company is desperately trying to make up for the loss of CareDash, which was benefiting them tremendously as a primary user intake method through
Why
their
don't they just make another website, call it Dash Care?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like
that.
if
That
I
seems
was
obvious.
if I was a raccoon, that's what I would do.
You are a raccoon.
Yeah, I feel like that's the first thing to do, or have somebody else do it in like
Well, a pigeon raccoon, if that makes sense.
South America. That was taken. Just figure out something else. You know,
Care Dash with 2 R's. You can pick which one you want.
like fuck. I think it's a better name. Uber Care. Yeah, Uber Care. That sounds good.
affiliate program, despite not being directly associated with BetterHelp as a company.
Even
And they're
BetterHelp.
bleeding
I like that.
subscribers
Yeah.
every single day as they funnel money back into YouTube, hoping that people have somehow forgotten who they are.
They
That's
will.
my guess.
They will. People are gonna forget. What they should do is they should try to sponsor people that what do you call it? I think that if I was them, like who would I try to sponsor? I think what they should do is they should try to sponsor like some of those red pill people, because like they're always looking for money, and so they'll sell out their audience real quick, right? And
But that's asking the red pill people to technically sponsor their opposition, because people who care about the red pill are people who need self-help also. Maybe in a different way slightly, but still. People who really care about the red pill or whatever, they kind of care about self-help. And that's like sponsoring your opponents. Not smart.
on top of that, it can be seen as like men's health. So that way, like you could trick people into doing that. Yeah, only cares. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a smart way. Like that's probably a group of people you could manipulate and get them to give you money. Pretty easy. Probably the most easy. That's devious as fuck. Well, so here's the thing,
It
right?
wouldn't
Is
work.
like you look at a lion and you see a lion chasing down a herd of gazelles. And the gazelle that he gets is usually not the fastest gazelle. In fact, in most cases, it's the slowest gazelle.
Yeah?
That's natural selection, and he just got selected.
Okay.
These people are lions, and they're looking to select some people. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
The devious lion. Yeah, that's the way the world works.
Sure, buddy.
Thankfully, there's a couple more pieces of the puzzle here that tie everything together quite nicely. So, yeah, let's go over those before doing a final summary. In July of
Check out
2023,
Hims. I'll look at them.
BetterHelp was officially charged and penalized for sharing health questionnaire answers
Requested to pay 7 mil. Wow. I mean, you gotta love it when these penalties are nothing.
and other
Requiring
data.
to pay 7.8 million. So 7.8 million, and they refunded 7% of their money, which was 93 million, which means that the total amount of money that they probably made was like 110 million for 10%, so it'd be 1.1 billion, but then they got a fine for 7 million. That sounds like the cost of doing business. That sounds like this sounds like this is smart. This was smart. They probably made way more than 7 million off this. This was smart.
What the fuck was smart about this? Getting a fine? Was getting a fine smart? Okay,
With
something
advertisers.
here
Yeah.
was smart,
It's a paltry
boys.
sum, to be completely honest, 7 point whatever
It's
million
nothing.
dollars. Affected users, of which there are roughly 800,000, are getting less than $10 each, while the company seems to spend more on YouTube advertising in a single year than the entire fine demanded that they pay. But
Yeah.
regardless,
They don't care.
it gives a foot in the door to see what's really going on. Quote,
Okay.
despite representing to consumers that BetterHelp would keep consumers' information private and only use their information for non-advertising purposes, BetterHelp used
Wait, non-advertising purposes, that means that they can still sell your information. They're just not gonna advertise you as a person, which means they can't sell your information. This alone means that they can sell your information. They can't just label your face on top of advertisement. That's great.
And disclosed information obtained from consumers through the intake questionnaire and sign-up process for advertising. And
Say it ain't so.
Classic stuff, yeah.
No, man.
Shut
Who
up.
the fuck didn't believe this?
quote. So they lied about the data policies, told their user base, we won't use this information, and then turned around immediately and used it for advertising.
Right.
Awesome.
Why wouldn't they?
But it gets better, or it gets funnier, maybe. That's probably the wrong word. These are serious topics.
This is also a thing that I have talked about. You know why the fines are actually so small that they're irrelevant? It's very simple in reality. So, no country wants to actually fine their businesses. Obviously, everyone knows that the fine is nothing, typically, and it doesn't really matter that much. The reason that they keep the fines low is very simple. If you make fines actually troublesome and potentially damaging to the company, guess what happens? Well, the government gets less taxes from that company because now they need to save on money, cut down production, do all of these things. Making fines that actually damage companies that are big is counterproductive to what the government wants because that means the government gets less money. It's a very simple and stupid thing.
Well, you have to keep in mind that they probably didn't do that directly. What they probably said is that they would only share their information with their trusted partners. And then their trusted partners are another company that they own. And then they send the information to the trusted partner, and then the trusted partner uses the information to advertise to them.
That also can work.
You see how that works? What's next? Pharmaceutical companies lying to us?
I mean, cough medicine isn't medicine. That's a thing I learned from Joe Rogan. I think I saw that on a clip. But wasn't the cough medicine thing known like 20 years ago? That cough medicine is not actually even medicine? Because I have heard that before, but I think now it's just happening over again. Because these things tend to repeat themselves, 10 years ago, something got discovered. Now, 10 years later, everyone forgot that it exists and it gets rediscovered. Fun stuff. Anyway, I'm getting kind of bored, so that was Asmongold, Wold, Pigeon, Lord, Cockroach, Tamer, man. Very funny. I wish he gave more opinion and in-depth dives into stuff because, I mean, I just love shitting on the idiot. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.